after a glorious 2-week next up bye, one was scheduled and the other one technically was not. But it's okay. To answer your next questions, we are all right. We are fine.
We're not.
Manny will probably explain why. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling
This
good.
shit sucks. This Mike's league sucks.
The reason why that Manny cannot kill my vibe, is because of the fact that I can finally say after 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you listen to this, whenever you guys are watching this. Week 10 is behind us. Week 11 is ahead of us. And for a lot of your leagues, this is the final week, or if not, the next week is the final week for trades. So that being said, I welcome to each and every one of you to the Next Step Fantasy Show. It's your boy, Will, with my two amigos, one of them just becoming another year older. So let's actually go ahead and introduce that dude right there. First things first, Mr. Mike T. Happy birthday. How's it going?
It's going good. I mean, Manny would say I'm old. I feel vibrant though.
Geezer.
A gentleman, a gentleman never tells his age. So I'll let the audience try to guess how old your boy is. That'd be kind of funny. Put that in the comments. How old do you think I am?
Let's go.
But hey, we're here. I'm just disappointed because fantasy football. I love it. It's a passion of mine. But more than that is the actual football. And my Cowboys are just playing like trash, and it's just really bad. I'm walking into work. People are like, "How about them Cowboys?" I'm just being ridiculed, and I don't know why. I feel like I've been nice to everybody who I work with, and I feel like my coworkers have, I've always showed them, the respect that they deserve. But I don't know. I guess they've been waiting for this to happen because I've been ridiculed and made fun of on the daily, and it's getting hard for me to try to hold it together. CD's dropping balls because the sunlight in the stadium is hitting his eyes, and Jerry doesn't want to pull the curtains down, and I just don't know what to do. So I'm just hoping that your fantasy season is going better than the Cowboys season, because my fantasy season is going better than the Cowboys season. I know how to coach my squad. But yeah, it's just rough right now in Cowboy land. Manny's not even watching the games. So I don't know what to say or what to do, but we did pick up Will Greer. So there's that.
There's somebody else from that. There's another former Panther that actually ended up going to the Cowboys as well. And we could probably talk about him. But
how about
before we do that, let's go ahead and actually introduce to Mr. Complainy Pants over here. Manny being Manny. Manny, what's good? How you been, man?
Fantasy football sucks. No, it's really good. I just can't buy a break in Mike's league. I'm in second to last place. Everyone on my team is hurt. Literally, if you go up and down the list, they've all been hurt, or someone's been hurt on their team that's been affecting them. I've had Dak. Guess what happened? Hurt. I had Tua. Hurt. All my wide receivers are hurt. Nico Collins decided that he was going to play this week, and then all of a sudden, a couple hours before the game, he's not going to play. Then there's no receivers left, Tyreek Hill hurt, and Tua was hurt, actually. And then all my running backs I had Rashee Rice hurt. I can keep going, I think it's karma, me making fun of Mike. But yeah, and the Cowboys suck. So football kind of is horrible. It's basketball season.
Well, it's funny how you're just saying, and on top of that, you said all the negative things that you said about about your players, and then you did the on top of all that, the Cowboys suck.
They do.
I try to live with myself with
they're like the cherry on top of my load of poop.
What was that?
They're the cherry on top of my load of poop.
It sounds pretty crappy. But today, it's just going to be another Freestyle Tuesday. There was a couple of things that I did want to at least pinpoint. Nothing specific, but just wanted to at least think about some things. So let's go ahead and actually get started with trade talks in general. So we did a little session about this last year, something similar with the trade deadline being over this weekend or within the next couple of days. Let's go ahead and start off with Manny. Like first things first, like what pops out as far as a suggestion, as far as what to do for trade season or with the trade deadline happening this in the next couple of days.
First thing, if you're guaranteed a playoff spot or like one of those top couple seeds, doesn't matter if you may win like the actual 1 seed. What I would do is go and look at people's playoff schedule and try to get people like low name players that have really good playoff schedule. I remember a couple years ago, Will knows this, I lost the championship because the guy I was playing had a great matchup in the championship. They weren't like heavy hitter running backs. I had like the heavy hitter players that you normally would have. He had like Rashad Jennings in the Seahawks, and he scored 3 touchdowns. He had another running back for the Patriots at that time before Stevenson, and he scored 3 touchdowns, and I just got whooped from there on out. So go and look at people with the best playoff schedule.
Like who? Like is there? Can you name me like one person like right on top of the dome?
Right on top, I believe Tony Pollard has a good playoff schedule. So let me double check while you go to Mike, and then I'll get right back to you.
Mike, what you got?
For trades, I would say, and this sounds like blasphemy, but we just talked about how horrible the Cowboys are. So I would say if you're a City Lamb owner, look to Dylan. Get off him. Because we don't have the capability to be able to give him the ball for him to do anything anyway. So if you can maybe swing a trade, maybe get a player like a Brian Robinson, that's what I would target. I like him. Or if you can maybe target another impactful player, maybe a James Conner. Or if you want to try to trade him for a wide receiver, which I think would be kind of tough because I think at that point the owner would probably be like, what are you doing this for? But if you could maybe try to trade him for a wide receiver, somebody that would come in mind that I would try to trade CeeDee Lamb for. I don't think trading him for a wide receiver it would be a good idea because I don't think the owner would swing for that. I mean, a wide receiver that would be worth what CeeDee Lamb's worth is like a Jefferson, a Chase. You're not going to be able to get that. So there'd be no need to move. There'd be no need to really move him for that, unless you could maybe get him on Drake London, maybe depending on how his health is doing. That might be interesting to me.
Would you do a 2-1
personally? Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I would say if you can move off CeeDee Lamb, do that because I just feel like the draft capital that you gave up for him and the production that he's going to be getting due to our lack of quarterback isn't going to be comparable. And you can probably right now, before we look too bad, make something happen. So go do that. Maybe somebody in your league will bite on that. He's still a big name. He's CeeDee Lamb. He's dope. And you might even have a week where you regret it because he might have a week where he does go off. But I think in the long run, it'll be beneficial for you to move off of him and any other Cowboy player that you have starting. I mean, you could maybe I don't think any of them will be viable weapons. If anyone, maybe a Rico Dowdle, but he's not viable. If you're starting Rico, then you probably don't have a good running backs. So move off CeeDee Lamb, see what you can get for him. That's my opinion, and that sounds crazy because I love CeeDee.
I have to start Rico Dowdle this week in one league because Chuba Hubbard is on the bye this week.
And he's not a horrible start. He's not a horrible.
He's not the worst start, but I focus so much on the wide receivers that my backups. Like I might have Jalen Warren. I think I him in that league, but I definitely agree with you. Do what you can as far as with certain players. It's time. It's their time to pretty much just go away, because it's going to be difficult for certain players to meet their ceilings or whatnot. Like my advice was going to be, as weird as it sounds, focus on rookies. Like there's going to be a multitude of rookies that are going to have their time to shine towards the end of the season, and that's kind of more so on the playoff side or the fantasy football playoffs. You're going to have some players that are going to go out there just to see what they can do. Like if you kind of see how Rashid Rice did last year in his rookie year, like they slowly got him in there as far as doing pretty decent. It's just the fact that they didn't give him enough snaps. So I'm kind of looking at players that we kind of had an eye out for a while, but didn't do much at the beginning, but are slowly increasing into getting a little bit into getting some more snaps. Like I remember talking to you guys about Blake Corum as much as I possibly could because I drafted him, and then from there I was like, oh, I hope that he's the guy that that becomes the league winner and things like that. But it looks like it's Chase Brown right now. But now Blake Corum is slowly getting those snaps that we've been personally looking for, and we know how talented he can be. Him and Coker from the Panthers is also getting those looks. Is getting some looks as well. So it's another slowly but surely. But towards the end of the season, he may be able to get as much play as he can possibly get. And even though we know that Brian Thomas is pretty solid, but once he gets back from injury, he's probably going to have an even bigger role with Christian Kirk gone for the year. Manny, you had something?
Yep. So the best people to target are from what team you say? Arizona, and this is perfect because they're on bye. Cardinals. They play New England first round, second round Carolina Panthers, and then in your championship round they play the Rams. So I would target Kyler Murray if you need a quarterback, or if you want to trade one of your top end quarterbacks. Which here's they even come out with like to avoid. CJ Stroud has the toughest playoff. They have Miami, which is good, but then they play the Chiefs in Baltimore. Patrick Mahomes has Cleveland, Houston, and Pittsburgh. Tua, Houston, 49ers, Cleveland. So if you could get Patrick Mahomes and trade him for, it's kind of crazy to say, Kyler Murray and something else. I mean, the running backs as well. James Conner. You get James Conner, you get Marvin Harrison. I would target to try to get some Cardinals on your team. Another good running back to get is Breece Hall. He plays Jacksonville, the Rams, and then Buffalo. And Buffalo's been really bad against the run. So those two running backs. And then another team to target. Also, the last one is the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have the Chargers, the Cowboys, which they are trash. And if you make it to the championship, they play the Panthers. And here's some fun fact for you. Go get Mike Evans. He's been hurt. You could get him really cheap right now.
So something actually that popped up. You talked about Breece Hall, and I'm actually curious, and as well, I forgot the other person you were talking about.
James Conner.
Thank you. So would you be willing to also stash the backups? So in this case,
Yes.
Braylon Allen and Trey Benson?
I would only stash them if you have them. Because if James Conner does get hurt or Breece Hall gets hurt, you want to have their backups for the playoffs, because those matchups are kind of spicy.
And I'm also kind of thinking about Braylon Allen on the long run, mainly because the Jets aren't it. So it doesn't look like that they're going to be getting into the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is going to be looking upset, like he does every week. And I'm kind of thinking, like, if they're not going to use their star players, then they can give like the rookies or the second string a little bit more run than usual. So that's kind of why I'm thinking about Braylon Allen. If you have the accessibility to stash him, and that's the same thing with Trey Benson.
Here's a move.
He's been more on injury, but yeah, go ahead.
Here's a better move that you probably could do, and people might think you're crazy for doing it, and they could call collusion, but it's going to help you in the long term. I told you this running back situation for Houston with Miami, which is good, but then they play Chiefs in Baltimore. Baltimore is really good against the run, and Chiefs are really good against the run. Joe Mixon is doing really well this season. Trade Joe Mixon and go get James Conner and someone else. Why not?
Oh,
You
sorry.
could get multiple people.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
You saw
Mike,
it,
how
right?
the hell do you do that?
I don't know, and I was trying to do it again, and it didn't do it. But I yawned.
Did
And it
you
gave
see
thumbs
that,
up.
Manny?
I saw him go like something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
he
Like
did.
the screen.
He did a thumbs up, and then like
Yep.
the emoji of a
A thumb
thumbs
came
up
out.
came on his screen. Yeah, like he did the thumbs up, and then from there was like another one that just came up. No, he did that. He did that the week that you weren't here.
Do it again.
A couple weeks ago, and he did the damn heart shake. Oh, look, you see how does
I'm magical. I'm magical.
no?
You guys don't. Y'all ain't got it like I got it.
He probably did something on his settings to create that. I don't know because I can't do it. I can't do all this. Like what the like. Do the
No.
Superman sign. See if that comes up.
We're giving the geezer way too much credit. He doesn't know technology.
Oh my god! Like I'm figuring that out.
This is the same old guy that couldn't find the link and couldn't get in.
Where's the link? Where's the link? Damn it! I can't find the link.
Where's the link?
What is it? What do I do? Do I double click it?
Yeah, so I would trade Mixon high and try to go get one of those players like James Conner. You could get you probably could even get Breece Hall, to be honest with you, if you got some certain managers that are tired of Breece Hall. He did come off a bad game, so you might have to throw something else in. But why not try to get the best running backs for the playoffs if you're already in it?
Okay, so would you consider Mike's boy George Pickens?
I don't like George Pickens, but I can
He's
see it. I
amazing.
mean,
He's amazing. Damn it!
the Steelers play the Eagles, Baltimore, and Kansas City. So if you want those matchups, I'm not going to get rid of Mixon to get another bad matchup. I'm going to get rid of Mixon for the good matchups in the playoffs. I went if someone has Mike Evans and James Conner for Mixon and someone else. I would do that in a heartbeat.
I'm not mad at you. I mean, those matchups are tough, but he is the number one option, and Russ seems to be willing
Evans
to
would
swing
be
it.
interesting, but the problem with Evans. The problem with Evans is you would have to get someone on that caliber or at least similar to the point where they would actually agree to the trade. So like I'm kind of thinking, okay, so we know that Mike Evans was like what, a third, fourth round pick this year. Like he wasn't a second. He was at least third.
He's not playing.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Sometimes people don't care about that. They still see the value of they go based on the value of the name versus the value of like if whether or not a person's been hurt. Like Mike, you traded on my league. You traded CMC, and you traded him for a couple of people because you wanted to win at that point right now. So like, so you'll be a good person to ask about this. So like, do you feel that going for players that are like not in the similar tier, but if you get like a 2-for-1, do you feel that would be a route that players could go into to the point where it could help you out?
I think it can, but I think if you're taking a 2-for-1, you're probably taking the worst of the deal, typically. So it depends on your situation. It depends on what you need. Like I said, in that situation, I was in a situation where I felt like I needed to do something to win at the moment. And then I was also trading, like you said, a player that was hurt. I typically don't trade for players who are hurt. So that's not the way that I do it. It's not what I would do. But if I can get a player off who is hurt, who is not helping me in any way, so that I can get people who can help me at the present moment, then I feel like that's a decent trade for you. But you have to understand it's probably something to where you were probably, like in my situation, I wasn't doing well, and I needed to do something to turn the tide at that moment. If I was doing well in the league, if I'm doing well in the league with a hurt player who is decent, I'm going to sit on that because obviously I'm doing okay and I don't really need to trade the guy, So it just kind of depends on where you are in your league. I think for me personally, I think trade value is very dependent on your situation. It's weird. No one ever talks about that. We always talk about what trade value is and what it isn't, but it's also dependent on your situation and what you need at that current time. So
I feel I
To
feel
answer your question, Will, it depends. But if you need help now, yeah, I'd go for a trade like that, knowing that I'm probably giving up a better player, but I'm going for people who can help me now because a hurt player can't.
And this is why I brought it up now, is because in the first beginning of the season, Will, you wouldn't be able to do that. You have someone that's on the fringe of making the playoffs, and you're giving him Joe Mixon or not Joe Mixon. Yeah, you're giving him Joe Mixon to get a hurt player and someone else to the number one seed that you already guaranteed a playoff spot. I'll take the hit for a couple weeks and keep Mike Evans and give me another player. You need to win now. Take Mixon. That's what I'm kind of. You can make that deal.
Yeah, you can.
If you're a person that's in a spot where you made the playoffs or you feel confident that you're going to make the playoffs, I'm not going to try. I'm a person that doesn't really try to go for the extreme heavy hitters. Like, let's say I would love to get Bijan Robinson for the rest of the year on some of my leagues, but I know that some people aren't going to budge. So I kind of focus on like those players that tend to be in the, like, if you want to compare it to like when they were drafted, like compare it to people that were drafted in like the 4th round, 5th round, that has like a decent upside. Like let's say I'll say this compared to last year. So like because this year he's not really doing as well. DJ Moore, like a player like him in that medium where that you can get a lot out of him, and he's one of the better options for that specific team. Like if I know he's getting enough volume, if I know that he's getting more availability than, like, let's say the other high tier players, then I would trade for players like him. I would trade for I would kind of feel that Jordan Addison can actually be a decent player. Deebo Samuel. And running back wise, I don't know. There's not really too many that, like, maybe Josh Jacobs, I guess. Where they're not really players that are like they're like the top tier guys for them, so that they don't have to be too concerned, or to the people that you're trading them for, like the other owners sitting there like, okay, it's just X player. I still have this player, this player, this player. So I'm trying to fill like certain holes to the point where it means more upside for me. I like it. So let's go ahead and go to actually we're gonna cut this short. I want to get to this because I really want to hear what mainly Mike. I want to hear what his thoughts are, since he's our resident boxing expert. So we're not even going to talk about fantasy football right now. So for the next couple of minutes, because I just want to have a conversation. This is a chill conversation now. So this weekend, the big fight. It's the return of Mike Tyson, 56/57-year-old Mike Tyson, fighting against a guy that's half his age. Well, a little less than half his age or more. In Jake Paul. And Mike, I wanted to ask, what was your first thought about the fight when they first talked about it, and what's your opinion now with it, now that it's around the corner?
I mean, we can go here. I love boxing. This isn't a real fight,
right?
This isn't a real fight. It's kind of an exhibition match where I feel like, they're gonna go out. They're gonna try to give people a decent show, but it's not a real fight. We all know that in a real sanctioned boxing match, if Mike Tyson was prime Mike Tyson, I mean, he would kill Jake Paul. We all understand and know that.
All day.
But the interesting part about it is, I mean, he is older. Jake Paul's like half his age. I think Mike Tyson like 56, 57. Jake Paul thinks like 27. Right. So I believe in Vegas, Jake Paul's the favorite, which tells you all you need to know. If this was a real live, boxing match, where put it this way: if someone were to put these two men in a room and be like, someone isn't leaving this room alive, we're gonna lock the door and we'll just see whoever walks out. When they walk out, we all know Mike Tyson walk out of that room.
Damn right.
But I'm not sure that Mike's gonna go out here and really try to embarrass Jake like that. I think that it's kind of like a ploy for money for both of them. So I think Jake Paul might end up winning on a decision or something like that. I think Mike will do just enough to be Mike. I think Jake Paul won't try to embarrass him because he can't really embarrass him. But I don't think that. I just think they're gonna go out here and have an exhibition match, man, and it'll be what it'll be. So I wish it would be something more than that. I really do, but I don't think it will be, unfortunately. So that's my take on that. But I would love to see Mike knock him out. But I don't think Mike's gonna really try to hurt him. I think they've already kind of probably talked about it, and ain't nobody gonna get hurt.
Now, do you feel that they did the same thing with Mayweather?
Mayweather and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think these guys do the same things with all these celebrity matches when they're fighting people of that caliber. When you're fighting a Floyd Mayweather or fighting a Mike Tyson, like I think that you go in there with an understanding that we're going to do a little something, something, give the people kind of what they want, but the end result is already kind of understood. It's almost like wrestling. I mean, I know wrestling fans don't want to talk about the fact that wrestling's predetermined, but the things that happen in the wrestling ring are real. Like people are really getting slammed, people are really getting hit, but the outcome's kind of predetermined. I think in these kind of celebrity boxing matches, not like Jake Paul versus like who's that dude he knocked out? That UFC cat knocked him out. I can't remember the dude's name. The dude who got knocked out with the flying knee from
Yeah. I know
what's
what you're
that dude's
talking
name?
about.
Ben Askren. Ben
Yeah.
Askren.
Yes.
So when Floyd was, I mean, when Jake Paul was fighting Ben Askren, like that was like kind of a real, even though it was a celebrity match, quote unquote, it was kind of like a real match. Like no one really had the clout to where they needed to cover for anything. So they're going there throwing those things, right? And Ben Askren got dropped, but Mike Tyson kind of has a legacy. I don't believe he's gonna. I don't believe that Mike Tyson would go in there at his age. 'Cause he doesn't need the money. So I don't believe he'd go in there at his age and risk being embarrassed. I don't think that Jake Paul would embarrass him at all. At the same time, I don't think Jake Paul would want to risk being embarrassed, but that kind of stops his money train. So I don't think it's a real fight. Will, I don't
I
think it's
mean,
a real fight.
the thing is, like, okay, two things. I kind of feel that Mike Tyson is a different beast. Like, and I think we all know that. Like, the concern that I have is the fact that, like, maybe not concern, but just the thought. Logan Paul has, or excuse me, the other one, Jake Paul. He hasn't fought anyone like Tyson.
Almost
And
definitely. Yeah.
and Tyson is, and I think that it's in his genes to, regardless of whether it's an exhibition, regardless if it's not going to count for the record. Because I think they said that this will count as an official fight. So it will be recorded on Tyson if he lost.
All right.
So I feel that Tyson is that one that's not going to be doing it like just for fun. Like I think like there's the training videos, yeah, but like there's still like the general mentality of Tyson. So I kind of feel that like he is going to try to take this as serious as he possibly could, and then from there, like I'm not to say that he's gonna not to say that it's going to be like a hard fight for him, but I think it's going to be one of those where it's like it's going to be one of those where it's like he's going to show us that he still has it.
Well, look, think of it this way. Last time we saw Tyson fight in a match, he fought Roy
Mhm.
Jones,
Mhm.
and Jake Paul is not Roy Jones, so I'm not saying that, but he
Must have
didn't
forgot.
look, but he didn't look great. I mean, Roy ended up winning that match. Mike looked like he was tired, and these were two old guys fighting.
Right.
Now, this is gonna sound crazy, but Jake Paul is not anywhere near Mike Tyson's level. But Jake Paul's, for YouTuber, I mean, Jake Paul's not horrible. Like he got hands. Like it's not
Right.
like if I had to fight anybody in the world, it's not like the first person I would pick to fight would be Jake Paul. Like Jake Paul,
Right.
he could throw him a little bit. He's actually a lot better than I think anybody ever thought he would be. He's he's knocked out some dudes, mainly MMA guys. Here's what I think will happen. I think we'll know in the first round whether or not it's a real fight or not. If Mike comes out here aggressive and tries to do some things, then I think that maybe my opinion will change. But I just don't see. I don't know, man. I don't think it's a. I don't think it's a real fight. And at the end of the day, I mean, and it's not your fault. But to me, being a boxing like real fan of boxing, like this fight, we're talking about this fight when instead, so we should hopefully be talking about, and I hope that we will be talking about next year, possible Canelo Benavidez fight, possible Javante Davis, Shakur Stevenson fight, fights like those, fights with real fighters who deserve the credit. I mean, maybe even a Crawford, Canelo fight, just fighters who are actual fighters, man.
Crawford Stokes.
I almost feel like it would be like us talking about, I don't know, Valley View playing North. Like it's a different league of it's a different league of competition, and it's okay.
Right.
But and I'm excited for it. Don't get me wrong, like because it's an event, right? Anytime you have Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, polarizing figures, fighting, it's an event, and I hope it's real. But if it's real, then Jake Paul's getting knocked out. If it's a real fight,
Simply put,
I mean, the only way I could see it not happening is if Mike is deteriorated to the point to where he can't do it anymore. And I almost don't want to believe that because it would be sad for me to see one of my legends get knocked out by Jake Paul. Like I don't want to say that's going to happen. Even if it will, I don't want to say that that's going to happen, right? It's like right now I guarantee you that John Morant could probably beat Michael Jordan in 1-on-1, but I don't want to admit that. I don't want to see that. I'm going to say Jordan's going to win. I don't want to see it. So,
but in a similar way, as far as what I'm talking about with Tyson having the competitor to him, Jordan, we know Jordan's going to be competitive.
We know Jordan's going to bring it. No, I feel you. Jordan's going to bring it. So no, I get it. If anything, man, I hope that it's a real fight. I hope it's a real fight. If it's a real fight, then yes, Mike Tyson will beat Jake Paul. It's evident. Jake Paul couldn't even beat Tyson Fury's brother.
Yeah.
So if it's a real fight, if it's a real fight, we all know Mike Tyson's gonna win, and I hope he knocks Jake out. Because this isn't a game. Like I said, you're talking to somebody who loves boxing. I mean, next to football, boxing is probably my favorite sport, and it's. I feel like these dudes have made a mockery of the sport in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to see. I mean, it's almost saying like, do you think Jake Paul can cover Deebo Samuel? Like that's how I feel about the shit. Like it's getting to a point where it's like these are two different. This is crazy. This is crazy at this point. But he's gotten lucky. He's knocked a couple dudes out who weren't boxers, mind you. But he's knocked a couple dudes out. So now he's fighting Mike Tyson. So I hope Mike knocks him the hell out in like 30 seconds so we can end this whole charade. But I wouldn't be surprised if they made a deal, man, so that they can both get paid. No one gets embarrassed, and at the end of the day, maybe Mike wins by decision, or maybe it's a draw, something like that. Who knows?
I'll step in. This is like Mike said. It's an event. Like they're friends. Like they already came out and said they're friends. And I mean, Mike Tyson's 58, right? He's 58.
He's up there.
So here's my. If your bet. Jake Paul on points is plus 300. I think that, like, I don't see Mike Tyson winning just because his career is over, right? He's probably friends with Jake Paul and is lifting up his career with this. And if he goes on points, he could actually fight fighters because that's what he's been trying to do. So I think Jake Paul's not going to knock out his idol, right? He's going to take it like Mike said. They're going to take it easy on each other if they made this agreement. Jake Paul on points. Jake Paul's minus 190 to win, by the way.
One word
Okay.
answer, Mike.
Yes.
Paul or Tyson, who wins?
Man, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna keep it real. This is crazy, man. I got Paul.
Manny.
It's Jake Paul. I saw Roy Jones Jr. versus Tyson, and that looked horrible.
It
And
did, man.
if that's the same thing, Jake Paul.
Yeah,
Jake
it-
Paul's.
yeah.
You got to think Jake Paul's in his 20s, and Mike Tyson's almost 60
And
years
Mike's
old.
not. And Tyson's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Jake Paul.
And that's crazy. I never.
I hate
saying
thinking that. Like what?
It's
I hate.
gonna
I
be Jake,
hate.
Jake Paul wants to fight fighters. He's fighting Mike Tyson. Him and Mike Tyson are friends. Mike Tyson probably getting a big bag to basically boost him up to actually fight fighters. So now fighters are like, oh, look, he could compete with Mike Tyson. Like, I could see it now.
I hate saying that. Yeah,
I don't wanna
Manny's
believe
right. It sucks. You hate seeing that. You hate saying
Yeah.
it. You hate saying it, man. But you know your legends. I mean, it is what it is, man. You know.
What's gonna?
Like-
Yeah, Jake Paul's in his prime. He's in his prime age, and Mike Tyson against Roy Jones Jr. look like two slugs going at it. I don't. If Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva, he's beating Mike Tyson. Anderson Silva can, like, I know he's an MMA fighter, but he could stand up and fight, and he beat Anderson
Well,
Silva.
yeah, but
I know it's
Silva-
not boxing.
but Silva
I will
wasn't.
say
But
this,
Silva
though.
was more
I
known
will-
for his feet, though.
I will say this
Yeah.
though. I do think, and that's the thing. If it was real,
Yeah,
I do think that there could be an intimidation. That's Mike Tyson, bro. You feel me? Like, so if they weren't friends, and it was just like you're fighting Mike Tyson, I think there could be, because if Mike hits you one time, all it takes is one time to knock for Jake to drop. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's never been in there with someone as strong as Mike Tyson.
but Tyron Woodley I feel like Tyron Woodley is as strong as him.
No, man, I don't
Woodley can-
know.
Woodley
Oh,
can
no.
hit.
He don't hit like Tyron. MMA guys don't hit like boxers.
No,
Just like boxers wouldn't be able to do certain things MMA guys can
no,
do,
I
right?
get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I know Tyron
yeah.
Woodley has some power though.
He does. He has power. The only MMA dude who I feel like hits like a boxer is probably Ngannou. Francis Ngannou hits as
Yeah.
hard as probably maybe even harder than some boxers.
Rampage
He-
Jackson.
Rampage had power too. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Rampage. I might even like to see what Derek Lewis's just raw power is. You know, he's a really strong dude too. If he
My
just
balls are
squares,
hot.
if he just squares up and hits you. But you know, like Manny said, it's gonna be a fun little exhibition. But I think Jake Paul wins. I think he wins in decision. I don't think anybody gets knocked out. I think Jake Paul might get knocked down. They might have a plan to where Jake Paul takes a knockdown, so Mike Tyson can still show he's Mike Tyson. But I think Tyson wins on points. And honestly, even if they fought a real fight right now, Jake Paul might beat him because, like Manny said, Mike's old. So it's just it's one of those
that
things, bro.
Hate the reality, but legitimately, it is what it is.
My favorite fighter of all time is Evander Holyfield. I love Evander Holyfield. If he fought Jake Paul right now, he'd be in trouble too. He's old. These guys are old.
All time, I was a Lennox Lewis guy.
Huh?
I was a Lennox Lewis guy. All time.
Lennox
Like,
is dope. I couldn't get
he's
behind
good,
Lennox
like-
because he wasn't from America. I rock with the American dudes. He's from the UK,
Right.
eating crumpets and drinking tea and shit.
Hey.
Yeah, I could.
Me left hook.
Well,
But-
I mean, the same goes to like when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo wasn't ready. Like if they fought now, Canelo would whoop him. You know what I mean? It's like it's just the timing right now. Like
Yeah, Floyd's old. Yeah.
Like if they fought now, I mean they're both professional boxers, but I would even like Jake Paul is just in his prime and he's actually been working hard at boxing. Like he's not a slump, like Mike said. I just think they're
No,
going to
he's
put on a
actually not.
show. They're going to put on a show.
He's actually not, and that's the thing I think people don't recognize and understand either. Like Jake Paul's not horrible. Like he actually can fight. I know we remember from Disney, remember from all the the YouTube shit and all the social media, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like the dude has actually dedicated himself to boxing. He's like 220-pound, 27-year-old kid who's actually pretty strong. Like
Mhm.
from what I heard, he was actually a good athlete in high school too, so he's athletic. Like I heard he wrestled and played football. So the kid's he's not like the worst out there. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say
he probably
like
could. I mean,
the hatred that other people give on both not only Jake but also Logan, because he was in wrestling, and he was pretty damn impressive. The
no,
hatred that
Jake's
they
better
both
than Logan though. Jake's better than Logan at boxing. I
Yeah,
don't know about wrestling.
Jake's better than Logan,
Yeah, Jake's better than Logan.
but Logan's good. But Logan's good in wrestling. So
Yeah.
like the hatred that they get is probably what fuels them, and I'm not mad at that. So like their mentality that they probably have into putting in the work for them to get to where they are. I'm not going to be mad at that. I'll never be mad at that. Like
But my question is this.
that's a lot to be put in. Good.
This is my question. This is my thing going forward. Like we've seen enough of the, celebrity boxing matches, I feel at this point. So I feel like if Jake is to beat somebody like a Mike Tyson, right? You beat Mike Tyson.
Mhm.
And Will says it counts on your official record. That's officially you have a win over Mike Tyson. I
Right.
like to see what he wants to do with it going forward. I mean, I say go full tilt. I say go for it. You say you want to fight ranked fighters and try to really, really be a boxer. Like, let's really, really do this. Because at some point, you're just fighting these guys who are older. Anderson Silva's old as hell. Mike Tyson's old
On
as
the
hell. Like,
decline. Yeah.
yeah, Tyron Woodley's kind of out of his prime. Like, you're fighting these dudes that is kind of like,
Nate Diaz was retired.
yeah, so it's like I would like to see what you do against guys who are your age who are actually legit boxers.
Well, he did.
And
He did.
most of them were boxers, exactly.
He lost to Tommy.
Well, but and that's the thing. Like Tommy's not even good. Tommy is really not a good.
No.
Okay, he's the
So
worst.
you're right. You're right. Honestly, I guess you're right. With that being said, we know where Jake's at. Jake wouldn't ever be somebody who could be capable of winning a belt or anything like that. He would just be an average just fighter, not because Tommy Fury is pretty much in the boxing world. Tommy Fury's trash. Hate to say
Right.
it, but Tommy Fury's trash in the boxing world.
I don't know. I got one thing to say, Mike.
Yeah.
And you know this pretty well.
Mhm.
If there's some damn curtains when this fight goes down in the stadium, I'm going to lose my shit. I better see sun going in their eyes while they box, or I'm going to lose it.
What time is it going to be done?
I don't know. I better not see curtains up. Is all I'm saying.
Is it in Arlington?
Yes.
Is it our stadium?
Yes.
It's going to be at
I didn't know
AT&T,
that.
right?
I didn't know that.
If I see
So
I see any curtains, I'm riding. We're riding.
Just the fact that it's AT&T, we know it's a fucking clown show. It's gonna be definitely not be a real fight.
Exactly.
It's gonna fucking be Jerry's probably like gonna be.
Wait, is there actual curtains there?
There are. He lets them down
Oh.
during concerts.
He lets him down. He let him down for WWE, WrestleMania,
but not for his Cowboys.
He says it gives us an advantage. So we should know. We should know where the sun is. All human beings should know where the sun is, right? It's the sun.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But knowing where it is and it being in your fucking eyes are two different things, though. I can know where it is. The shit's in my eyes. Whatever.
Also, Will, it's kind of like if Mike the geezer and me played basketball, I'm gonna whoop him, just because of my age. He might have been so good in his prime.
We're gonna definitely hoop whenever I see you it's going down.
He
don't
he'll get
know.
so tired right away. His knees will buckle. His ankles will crack.
Man.
Time for you to get back on the. Time for you to do some training, Mike. Let's get it.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
He's over the hill.
Okay. That's after the game. I might need a little ice after the game, but during, we're good to go. We're good to go.
During the game, you're like you just let the adrenaline.
We're good to go. We're good to go, man.
Hey, he's gonna be wrapped up. He's gonna be wrapped up.
I'm a hooper, man. And I do this. I'm gonna have to have Will tell you, man. I do this. Man. We ball. We can do
He
this.
do that. He
Ain't
do
that my
that.
ball? Ain't that my ball? He's gonna be wrapped up on all ice like August, like LeBron James out on the bench.
Hey man, LeBron's out here still hooping too. Go ahead, LeBron.
Yeah, but you're like
all
10
that.
years older than LeBron.
No, I'm not. Me and LeBron are like the same age.
Wait, is he? No, he's like 1 or 2 years younger than us.
LeBron's 40. LeBron's 40. Is he 40?
No, he's 39.
Okay.
So close enough. But
yeah.
Yeah, but we don't have $1 million to clean our bodies.
He's 2 years younger than us.
Hey, everyone listening, Mike's so old that he had to hold the antenna on the TV for his parents to watch the TV. He had to just stay there like this.
Hey, but Will's older than I am, though, so you need to talk to him about that. You can't be coming for Mike. Will's older than I am. And I don't think Will's old, but Manny do, Will. He's talking about you, man.
I'm saying, I mean, what the hell? Jesus Christ. But you know what? It's my old man's bedtime. No, legit. It's time for me to eat because I haven't eaten dinner yet. So that being said,
he's got to get his warm milk.
Hey,
don't hate on my milk. I don't even drink milk. Anyway, so that's it for this show. Warm milk and all. I know this isn't what we're used to, but it felt good to do something a little bit different. So it felt good to talk a little boxing. Whatever we said about trading, work on that because I forgot. Like I said, week 11 this week. Only a couple more weeks, and then it's going to be playoff time. So we're going to be focusing more and more on playoff strategy and things of that nature, and just pretty much do what we can. For Mike T, what up?
Hey, what's up? It was fun. Got to talk about boxing. I love boxing. So that was really cool. So heed our trade advice, if you remember, because like Will said, we don't. But whoever we said is make that happen. But most importantly, I want to talk to Mike Lewis. You know, we had a matchup this weekend, and I lost to Will this year. I lost to Manny this year. So there's no way I was going to lose to Will, Manny, and Mike. So Mike, I'm sorry I take out my frustration on you. I know Manny doesn't like George Pickens, but he performed really well for me. So thank you, George Pickens. And just thank you, squad. I'm 5-5 now. I feel like other than Will and Nate and kind of my man Steven with Montreal Screwjobs, I see you. Other than those three, everybody else is just fighting it out. So even Manny, he still has a shot. He just needs to make a run now. Don't lose any more games.
Now.
If they all come back, I mean, Chris Olave, every time he goes out in the field, he get hurt the first 5 minutes. There's a goose egg. Nico Collins says, "Okay, I'll come back," and then not come back. Goose egg. Tyreek Hill
this week.
Tyreek's like, I got a fractured hand. I can't catch. That's why I suck this year. Tua's like, let me get 7 concussions and still lead with my head. Dak, let me pull my hammy.
Mathematically, you still have a shot, man. And so I just want to, or you'll be in my position that I was in last year, and you'll be on the outside looking in, and that sucks. So I hope that doesn't happen to you. But
it is.
For me, I'm right where I want to be right now. I'm kind of treading in. I don't feel like people are really looking for me, but at the same time, I feel like people know that I have a squad that is decent. So I'm treading water lightly, and I like where I am. I have my eyes on a couple teams that are ahead of me. And I know me and Will, we had a little matchup last week, but George Pickens was on bye week. I didn't have my full squad. I'd love to play again with my full squad. So I'm hoping I can see Will in the playoffs, maybe the championship. We'll see. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun, guys. So have a great weekend and peace out.
For the injury-ridden Manny Diamante.
I just want to say that I'm not going to mess with Mike Lou anymore. It just dawned on me that he's about 60 years old and never seen the Bills win the Super Bowl, so he is kind of feisty. I mean, us crew have seen Super Bowls. I might have been really small, but I was still there. Will's seen some Super Bowls. Might have not won them recently, but he saw some Super Bowls.
I'm still getting in there.
Mike Lou was probably 30 when Cowboys beat Bills like back to back to back.
That's what
I don't mean to interrupt you, but me and Mike That's how far we go back. Me and Mike actually watched the last time the Bills played the Cowboys. We were at the homie Dominic's house.
Damn.
He had his Bills jersey on. I'm like, we were like 11 years old, bro.
Shout out Dominic.
They were 30.
and,
The listeners, they were 30.
and it was rough. It was rough for him. It was happy for me, glorious for me, but
Yeah.
rough for him. So he's seen his team in the Super. He's seen his team in a couple Super Bowls. They just haven't won any.
Yeah, he's seen the biggest blowout in history in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Against the Cowboys.
That-
But yeah, I digress. I will not make fun of Mike Lou anymore. I know why he's so ornery and cranky now. It's compared with age, and he likes the Bills. So I'm sorry, Mike.
Now, in fairness, no one's seen the Bills win a Super Bowl. No one has, because they haven't.
Yeah,
won
but
it.
yeah, he's a cranky
In
guy.
fairness,
He's a cranky guy, and he's taking it out on fantasy. You know, he's like, I'm 5-time champ, but my real team sucks. So
we're getting Mike Lou on here next week. I need a response.
he's coming for you next week. I know that.
Let's
I think I'm
go.
sick. I think I'm
He's
sick.
And then Manny says, "Oh, I can't make it." So
Sick.
for your boy Will, thank you guys for listening to us rant. Even though it wasn't really 100% about fantasy football,
Nope.
but hey, we're still your 9-to-5ers. We're still the working man's fantasy show, and we might not be here every single week, but we still bring it one way or another. So you guys have a good night. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, whatever you guys are listening, whatever you guys are watching. Week 11 in the front line. You guys, good luck. Manny has one more thing to say. It looks like.
Dre, your team's crap without Connor Stallions. That's all I got.
Damn. You guys have a good night. See you guys next week. Peace.
Horns up.
Deuces.
UT.